Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Anna Finck is a wellness architect and lifestyle designer, redefining what it means to be a radiant, embodied woman. After walking away from medical school to heal her own chronic health challenges, Anna created Embodied Wellness, a powerful fusion of science, spirituality, and personal transformation. She is the visionary behind the concept of the preconception era, guiding women to reconnect with their bodies, reclaim their health, and prepare for the next chapter of life, whether that includes motherhood or not. Anna's mission is to help women remember their power, honor their body's wisdom, and become the fullest expression of who they're meant to be. And that's what this podcast is all about too, is helping women reconnect to who they truly are so they can be radiant, they can shine, and they can just be themselves. Because like you say, we are conditioned in this world, right?
We've been so conditioned and we get to learn a new way. And we are. We're recoding our body, our mind, and our biology.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about all of that good stuff, but I would just love for you just to start with your powerful creation, embodied wellness. What exactly is it and how did your personal healing go ahead and inspire you to design this body of work?
Of course. So I lived most of my life, like many, disconnected from my body, living very much in the mind, listening to what I thought I should do and the conditioning and the narratives. And it led me to feel more and more disconnected, more and more disempowered. And I soon realized that the answers I was seeking like externally to myself, right, were always within me. Rumi says, the inspiration, the wisdom, the answers you seek are within. Be silent, listen. And so it's been this whole journey of stepping away from medicine, the path that I thought was most aligned, to step into natural healing, to remember my body's power and innate intelligence to heal when it's given what it needs to heal. And so embodied wellness truly is about reconnecting to your body, which is the source of your power. Because when you're connected to your body, you're connected to your power and you reclaim your health, you rise into your potential and become who you're here to be. And so my own journey of going from disempowered and disembodied to empowered and embodied has been this 8-year personalized PhD of creating this body of work through first experiencing and living it myself and then realizing, oh, every woman deserves to feel radiant, to remember her inherent worth, to remember and become who she truly is.
Absolutely. And that's what I stand for too, because I was mentioning to you that I used to be an alcoholic, a professional drinker, no longer. I've been 8 years sober now. And
Congratulations.
oh,
That's
thank
incredible.
you.
Yes.
So much. I recommend no
I
alcohol to those.
same. I'm 7 years too, so
Are
we're
you
on the
really?
path.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
Congratulations to you
Thank
too.
you.
It's amazing,
Thank
isn't it?
you.
And yeah, so I noticed that it dimmed my light whenever I drank. I mean, it was like a false confidence because it was just liquid courage, but it wasn't real because I was masking what really was underlying the trauma, the pain, the discomfort, the ugly, everything that was inside there. It was still there. Then it wasn't until I let go of the alcohol, as you probably know too. And then you started probably, I mean, I got clear vision. Oh my goodness, it was like amazing. And so I love that. That's why I call my podcast Shine Within because it really had to start within. I had to do that inner work and just start working on myself and loving myself. I don't think I've ever loved myself. And then, I mean, not in an arrogant, conceited way, but more like a self-compassion and graceful way. And yeah. But anyway, like I told you, I can ramble on forever about things. This is about you. This is not about me.
This is about
But
us, our co-creation.
yeah, we're
Your
co-creating.
story
That's
matters.
right. You are correct. You are absolutely correct. And you also call yourself a wellness architect and lifestyle designer.
Yes.
What does that actually mean to you, and how does it differ from like traditional approaches to health and wellness?
Of course. So I have always been a pioneer. I always love forging a new path and going where no one else has gone before. And for me, being on this path, leaving the medical degree and doing all these different certifications to become a coach, a life coach, a certified nutritional health coach, and breathwork facilitator and practitioner, and all these different labels, I was like, this really doesn't feel like me. Yes, I'm a mentor. Yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I'm an artist. Yes, I'm a scientist. I'm an alchemist. But I was like, oh my gosh, I love art. I love design. I wanted to be an interior designer or a surgeon when I grew up. And so for me, Wellness Architect really embodies and encapsulates what embodied wellness is, which is art, alchemy, science, spirituality. And so it's really about igniting that personal power within each of us to remember that we are our own best wellness advocate and wellness architect. And that through getting to know ourselves, reconnecting to our body, knowing our human design, knowing who we are here to be and what we want to create, we get to design a lifestyle that aligns with that. Something that I'm very passionate about is lifestyle rather than diet. And a lot of people come to me and they're like, I've tried all these diets. And I say, do you know what the Latin root word the root word for diet is? It's from Latin dieta, which means way of life. And so I'm here to support people in designing a way of life that is aligned and true to them rather than just another diet, because that doesn't work. We need to go deeper on that embodiment level.
We do need to go deeper on that embodiment level. Like some embodiment practices that I've loved is just dance. I feel so free and it releases stuff. And then I start crying sometimes. And no wonder why my mom, like I was telling you, like she looks very youthful. She's 75, but she looks maybe like in her 60s, at early 60s.
Amazing. Yeah.
And it's incredible because she met her husband. I was maybe about 14 years old. My father passed away when I was a baby. And so she met her husband when I was about 14, 15 years old. But you know where they met? They met at Club Miami. She was already 46 years old, but she never drank though. Like she never drinks, like never did any smoking, drinking. I wish I took after her.
Well, you
Um,
do. You are.
I am now, yes. But before the past version of the old Gina, I guess I should say. And she met her husband there at Club Miami dancing, and she's like, he is the best dancer. Like that is their common denominator. And that's her like sense of freedom. And it is also mine too. I'm a little bit more limited now to my dancing because of this, being 7 months, almost 8 months pregnant now. But
Incredible,
it's
though.
still awesome to move the body. And I feel like when I did get sober, that's the first thing I did as I started working out.
Hmm.
I needed to connect back to my body because I hated my body so much. I was destroying my body. And then I just noticed I was feeling so much better. So, yeah, embodiment. What are some other embodiment practices that you would recommend?
Oh my gosh. Well, first, I want to touch on what you said about reconnecting to your body and feeling that self-hatred and then choosing movement and really moving your body. Because with embodied wellness, there are 5 elements to wellness: the physical, energetic, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And the physical is the most tangible for us, right? So, for a lot of us, our personal growth development journey begins with our physical health. These symptoms are signals asking us to reconnect and rise. There's simply invitations. Your body is not the problem, it's the portal to your power, your purpose, your potential. And so I love that yours started there because that's how mine started. And so for a lot of women listening who are feeling like disconnected from their body and self-critical and deprivating, just deprecating, I mean. It's like, how can we learn to love ourselves? How can we learn to reconnect to the body and see the body as power? And changing our energy through movement is so powerful. So I love that journey for you. And there are so many practices, but one of my favorites and the simplest is your breath. Your breath is the most accessible and powerful tool you have to regulate your nervous system, to release stress, and to reconnect to your body and your power. It's the one, yeah. I was just going to say it's the one part of our autonomic nervous system that we have complete control over. So you can gently breathe in for a count of 4 and then exhale for 8. And that's just a 2x breath. So you're going to inhale in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And your breath changes your physiology, changes your energy, changes your emotionality, mental state, everything. And you can use your breath to become aware of how you're feeling, but also to create a desired state of feeling and being.
100%. And you know what? I was doing so much breath work before the pregnancy when I was able to lay on my back because I love doing breath work on my back. I just Sitting up, I don't know, it's just uncomfortable, maybe because I am experiencing lower back pain all the time. I do have lower back pain from multiple car accidents that I'm trying to work with myself with doing a lot of exercises and everything, and it does help. But like I said, being pregnant doesn't help that much. It'll go back to the way it used to be pretty soon. I'll give it another maybe 3, 4 months or so.
Yeah,
But
you're almost there.
yeah, I'm
And there are
almost
ways in
there.
the meantime to support you with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But my husband, so he's very type A personality. He's a mechanical engineer and he's always processing things in his mind, always using his he's just always thinking. But anyway, so I introduced him to what's called hypno breath work, and we were doing this, like I had mentioned to you in that one of the conferences that I went to for entrepreneurial women. And it's a guided hypno breath work, and you breathe in through the belly, in through the chest, and out through your mouth. And
Is it
it's
a
like,
three
it's
part
this,
like the
yeah. But you go at
yeah,
your own pace, whatever you feel
right.
comfortable, I guess, with.
Okay.
I'm not an expert in it. I
Yeah.
do breath work, but I'm not certified in it or anything like that.
Right.
But what's interesting is that he didn't really like it at first. I mean, neither did I. I hated breath work when I was doing it with my mentor before. We did all these different types of breath work exercises, and some of them are just like, I cannot wait till this is over. But then I was practicing and practicing, and then I started noticing the difference. And so did my husband. Like, he's the type that not really open to like spirituality, or he's more on the religious side. I mean, I that's
Mhm.
okay, but I'm more on the spiritual side. And he's not really open to ideas, but he's starting to tell me now, oh, we need to get back to breath work. That really helped me so much. I'm like, oh my goodness, yes, let's do it sometimes. And we used to do it with the kids too.
Yeah.
Some of them liked it. The other ones like, I don't like breathing.
Mhm.
I mean, but they're young boys, you know. I mean, at least we're introducing it to them. But you're so correct with breath work. I need to start doing that again. Yes, thanks for that reminder.
And gentle too, because for women in their preconception era and in your pregnancy, I would recommend a really regulating breath. So often we're
Yeah.
over oxygenating the body and we're adrenalizing the body through those activating breath patterns. And I always say, like, as a wellness architect, you're either coding your body for survival and stress or radiance and creation. And so the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you eat all codes your body. And so when you're looking to prepare your body for preconception and during your pregnancy, you want to breathe in ways that code your body for creation and rest and rejuvenation. So breathing in through your nose rather than in through the mouth will activate your parasympathetic nervous system.
Good tip because yes, like I told you, I'm not an expert in breathing, so I will do nose breathing instead of the
Yes,
mouth breathing because I agree. I mean, it's too much. Like my diaphragm is already
already
being
compromised.
compressed and yeah, compromised. I can't barely breathe naturally, let alone start breathing through my mouth, right?
Right. And that's why it's like, okay, just breathe intentionally and slowly and notice like when we do those activating breath patterns and we come out of a breath experience, we feel really good, but it's not
Mhm.
often for the reason we think. It's because of
Right.
that adrenaline and that feel good effect of the high of the adrenaline, which is then corrosive for the liver and the body and all of these different things.
Wow. Well, let's talk also about that preconception era.
Of course.
And because it's like a sacred chapter in a woman's life. Can you go ahead and explain what this era is and why it's so important, even for women who aren't even currently planning for motherhood?
Your fertility, your conception, like your fertility health is just an overall marker of your health, right? So it doesn't matter if you're not planning to have children, it doesn't matter if you've already had children. Your fertility is simply a reflection of your overall health. And so your preconception era is this time that I was inspired by Dr. Fustameri, who talked about the trimester zero and this time before you conceive. And for me, it's more than just 3 months. It can be up to a year, it can be 2 years, it can be 3 years. Like I'm in my preconception era and I'm not in a relationship at the time at this time, and I'm not planning to conceive for another few years. But I am mindful of the body blueprint and my body's toxic load and the pathogens and all of these different things that we're exposed to on a daily basis that can compromise our body's health, healing, and the pregnancy, because when we are pregnant, our immune system is lowered by 50%. So the fatigue, the swelling, these symptoms that arise that are not normal, that have been normalized in pregnancy, and especially around women's health. Like if we have PMS and bloating and other reproductive health issues, they've been normalized because they're so common, but they're not normal. So that's something to keep in mind is like you're preparing for the most sacred time of your life. That journey, for some, it's going to be from maiden to mother. For others, it's going to be your second or third or fourth pregnancy. And it's a new journey each time. But the stronger you are, the healthier you are before your conception, the healthier your pregnancy, the more blissful your birth, the better your postpartum experience.
Yeah. So I mentioned to you that I have two other children of my own, and I do have a stepson. He's my baby too. I did not give birth to him. I should have, but I did not give birth to him. So I have a 17-year-old son, and then I also have a 10-year-old. He just turned 10 last week.
Amazing.
Yes, but I was not in the healthiest. I was not healthy. Let's just say that. I paused drinking for their while they were in my womb, but I went back to drinking after they were born. It was just bad. This is the first time that there's nothing in my system. I'm like, yay, because I've learned not to put garbage in my body anymore. And I feel so different and so much better, even though I'm older. Because, like I told you, I'm going to turn 44 in December. And so a lot of people always look down at women who have their babies later on in life, or especially the doctors. At least I get that feeling when I go to the doctor's office, like, oh, you're higher risk, you're this, you got to be careful of this because of your age. I'm like, I just told you, Anna, that I found out that my great grandma had a baby at age 50, like late 50s, early 60s. And we didn't know. We didn't know because unfortunately the baby had caught a fever at 3 months and wound up passing. But I'm just saying that she was able to conceive at that age. Why? I don't understand why it's so frowned upon. I don't understand because I think if, like for example, I took my son to the chiropractor's office and there's the receptionist. Her name is Gina. She's very sweet and loving and everything. And she was asking me, yeah, are you concerned about, your pregnancy because of the age? I'm like, oh, my age? I said, I don't think age is not important. And like, I think my body's healthy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten pregnant. I told her. And she's like, oh, yeah,
Exactly.
that's right. I don't know. Anyways, I just had to say that.
It's so true. And most people, there's so much conditioning around it. And we have to look at the societal and cultural conditioning around age and youth and beauty and all of these things that is promoting one narrative instead of looking at your fertility window can be expanded. It doesn't matter your chronological age, it's about your biology. And so it's about the radiant state of your body because fertility is simply a marker of your health, a reflection of your health.
Yeah,
You can conceive at any age as long as your body is healthy, as long as your adrenals are strong.
that's right. And it's just going back to your own journey, from stepping away from medical school to healing yourself naturally. What gave you that courage to go ahead and trust your own path?
I think there was this part of me that had spent so much of my life trying to conform to the conventions and felt like no matter what I did, I felt like I still couldn't fit in and belong. And so it was honoring this knowing within me that there was something more. And so many of us feel it. We're going through the motions and living life like a checklist of, okay, go to school, get the degree, get the career, go, whatever it is. And then we're like, well, what else? We think happiness and success comes from fulfillment of those obligations almost. And so as I realized that I wasn't happy with all those achievements and I was craving something more, I was craving more soul, more purpose, more connection, more passion, I started to question the narrative. And I had always kind of been unconventional, but this was me just fully trusting it. And when I was diagnosed with hypothalamic amenorrhea, I lost my cycle for 3 years. I stopped ovulating during that time. My libido was absolutely absent. I had severe adrenal fatigue. I felt the worst had ever felt. And I was like in the prime of my 20s. I should be feeling radiant and healthy and confident. And so I was like, there's another way. And I didn't know what that way was, but I knew I was going to find it and my soul was leading me. And I just trusted that. And I was like, we just have to have the courage to do things differently because we're all designed to be so unique and so different and to trust your soul, your intuition, and your body's wisdom.
And that's what that is, right? Your soul, your higher consciousness, your inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, inner GPS, it's all the same. It's just love and it's really your essence. And I'm
Yes.
so happy you mentioned that you were led by that. And I felt like I was the same too. And things change when when you're guided and then you just listen to that inner knowing, the gut feeling, your intuition, whatever, like I said, whatever you want to call it, you'll see like in like a state of flow, I guess people would say.
Hmm.
And you just feel like everything is just makes sense and you feel like this is right and you don't feel that icky feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, you know. And that's why I say no to a lot of things nowadays because I don't want to do
Yeah.
I it's like a form of self-care, saying no to things that don't align to your soul.
Your no is so sacred. And so
Yes.
often, especially as women, we're saying no to that which we desire to say yes to and saying yes to that which we want to say no to. And so when we flip it, we bring more alignment into our life and create more ease and flow and abundance.
And abundance. I love the word abundance. Yes, being more, not having more, but being more. I always say abundance. And I mean, everyone's a definition is different. It's all probably all this correct too. But yeah, yeah. That's what I'm experiencing right now is abundance. And it doesn't mean like I have a lot of money. I don't. To be straight up honest with you, I don't. My husband's the breadwinner. He's the provider. I don't. I do a lot of things out of I don't know. I just want to give to the world. Like it's my gift to the world. I just want to give. And but then yet I feel like I get so much back, not finances, but what joyful moments and experiences with women like meeting women like you and just being outside and seeing magical things happen. One time we were at Lake Elizabeth. I like telling little stories, by the way, if you haven't
Yeah.
caught on to that yet. Um, so I always try to teach my children because I tell them, you know, you're magical beings. Like my son, for example, I'll get back to the Lake Elizabeth story. My son, for example, is a huge manifester. This is the oldest one. So he was very fearful of wasps. And I told him, there's no need to be fearful of wasps. They probably just want to say hi to you. Just like that little fly that was buzzing around, just wants to say hi. And one day, because sometimes the wasp would just come in his bedroom and not because he's probably thinking about them. One day, I swear to you, there was probably about 20 plus wasps in his room, like on the wall. And I'm like, son, look what you did. Look at this magic you created here. But they were not aggressive. They were just there. I am like, these are like a spiritual sign for you. You should look it up and see what it means instead of being scared about it. Like, let's dive into like what it really means. And so he did. And he was like, oh, wow. So we're trying to get them out the window. They disappeared eventually. But I was just amazed by that. But back to the Lake Elizabeth story. So there's a lake close by to where we live, where we love walking. It's just beautiful nature, and we see these beautiful creatures all the time, birds, and you know, just these little cute little squirrels running around playing. And I take the boys, and we're walking, the younger ones this time, not the older one. He was doing something else, as teenagers do. And then I said, well, let's ask the divine to show us magic and miracles and beautiful things. And we always ask that, show us beautiful things. And so we were
Mhm.
seeing all these different birds that we hadn't seen before there. And then my husband's like, I know, I want to see turtles. I'm like, I've never seen a turtles here before. You know, I grew up in this area and I've never seen turtles at Lake Elizabeth. Well, we were walking, right? And then on the lake, there's like some rocks or stones. And I mean, it was shallow water. We saw like one, two, three, four, four, but they're like as a sculpture. And we're like, is that real? Or is that someone just create some like sculpture and left it there? And then we saw it move. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's turtles right there. I said, I said, see, husband, you just created that right there. I said, look at all this cool stuff happening. But anyway, I love I don't know where I was going with this. I just wanted to share that story of magic and miracles that
And
it's
what we're
available
creating.
and
Yes.
creation.
And knowing that we have the power to create and architect our own health and our own life, that we
Yes.
desire. That's where you were.
Yes. That's what I was saying. Thank you. Yeah, and talking about coding, you were just talking about this before about coding the body for survival or creation, which we were just talking about. What does that mean to you, and how can women go ahead and begin to shift towards creation energy in their daily lives?
So anything that creates stress in your body, in your mind, is coding your body for that survival mode, right? That stress of that sympathetic nervous system fight flight. So it could be caffeine. It could be those thoughts of self-hatred, those self-deprecating thoughts. That could be anything like the environment. It could be a toxic substance out in the world that's coding the body for survival because it's adding toxicity to the body's biology and physiology. It could be, okay, I'm going to create, radiant health and architect that and code my body for radiance through my breath. If we're holding our breath, if we're not breathing, we're coding for survival. If we're breathing gently and deeply, we're coding for radiance and creation. And it could be certain foods like fruit is amazing to code the body for radiance and creation. And then if you're looking at what else? I mean, every woman is so unique in her rituals, but food is a huge one for coding the body for radiance. And there are what I call anti-fertility foods, health hindering foods, and then there are health promoting foods. And those are fertility foods. So those include like fruits and leafy greens and all these beautiful vegetables. And then there are foods like maybe high fat dairy, eggs that code the body for survival. Meat can actually code the body for survival too, because if you think about it, when you're a tertiary consumer eating meat that has been slaughtered, regardless of how humanely it was slaughtered, there's an adrenaline reflex. And that stress hormone is flooding the meat of the animal, the muscles of the animal. And then as you consume that, you're getting that hit of adrenaline. And so it's not that you can't still heal while eating animal meat, it's just like timing it and really designing your lifestyle to pair it with the proper food combinations to support the body's radiance through that.
Wow, yes. I love that. Now, for the women listening who are, let's talk about like burnout here for a moment. I mean,
Mhm.
there is many times that I've experienced burnout. That's why I no longer work for a corporate company anymore and
Yeah.
start doing my own thing. What I love, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved working my job too, but there was a lot of stressful times and I had to go in sick all the time. Otherwise, I'd be guilted, like, oh, aren't you taking care of your
Mhm.
clients here? Oh, anyway, uh,
I know. It's
right?
crazy. The corporate crazy.
The corporate burnout. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so for the women listening who are disconnected or overwhelmed, what is one embodied practice they can go ahead and start today, besides the breath work and besides what we were talking about, so that way they can start coming back home to themselves?
I would start with hydration, lemon water. Something simple that we're already doing. We're already drinking water, but the water we're drinking is not living often. If it's tap water, if it's bottled water, it's not living and we need to restructure it. And so fresh lemon juice brings that life, that integrity back to the water and it helps to cleanse the body and it's going to support the adrenals. When you're looking at burnout, something that came to me recently because I was starting to feel a lot of burnout in my life and caretaking my mom recently and just feeling like, oh, there's some burnout. And I was like, burnout's not a bad sign. It's like stress isn't always bad, right? It's just our relationship to it and how we frame it. And it's like, oh, stress is a teacher. So we see burnout as an opportunity to redesign the way we're living. And so when we understand the role of the adrenals in our health and our hormonal balance and our fertility, we can then begin to code our body for radiance by targeting the adrenals with lemon water, with different supplements, different foods to really support the adrenals and replenish their reserves.
Lemon water is so good. I love it. I love drinking warm water. And yes, I do squeeze some lemon, not every day, okay? I'm gonna be honest, but and I do feel like I can go bathroom better, you
Yeah,
know?
of course.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it does help me. Lemon used to hurt my stomach when I was younger, when I would just But you know what I used to do? I used to
Mhm.
eat lemon and put salt on it and just eat it like that.
I
And
did that too.
I don't know why. I was like, oh, lemon is so good.
But it is so good for
It's
us.
so good, right? And I see my
And,
little son eating lemon all the time too. And he's making faces and everything. But I'm like, oh, if he loves it, go ahead and eat it.
and
He
here's
loves it.
something that we've been told is that lemon and citrus fruits erode the enamel to avoid them then because they're bad for the teeth, but that's not true. They contain bioactive calcium that directly is absorbed by the teeth and the bones to remineralize them, to densify, to strengthen them.
Oh,
So when you had those reactions and the stomach ache earlier on, that's a cleansing reaction. When we begin
mhm.
bringing in these health promoting foods, we begin to cleanse the body, and cleansing is such a foundational part of healing and architecting radiant health. And so, as you experience that, we often interpret these cues from the body as something that's bad, and it's like, oh, that food gave me this symptom, it's a reaction, I'm going to stop eating it, instead of seeing it as this food is so healing, so alkalizing, it's helping my body heal and increase the hydrochloric acid, it's helping to enhance my digestion and cleansing processes. And so really having that reframe when we're healing is so powerful and important. Just like emotion gets stuck in our cells and our fascia. And it's like we have to feel it to heal it. When you're cleansing, these pathogens, these toxins come out to be released. You'll experiencing these symptoms or this discomfort, but it's not a sign you're regressing, it's a sign of healing. So to be mindful of those.
That is something I did not know. I thought my body was like, no, you're not supposed to have this, but I didn't know it was cleansing it because lemon, I mean, it's lemon. How
Yes,
it's good for you.
it's of the earth, right?
Yes.
Like, how are these things? It's like that's why with intuitive eating, I'm like, sometimes we're misinterpreting the codes from the body, the signals they're sending us. And so, really, as a wellness architect and a coder of your body, you have to decode the symptoms and recode your mind, recode your biology to then interpret them correctly.
Yeah, like deprogram what the world says to us. I've been playing a
Mm,
game lately. Whatever the world says, I'm going to do the opposite. Yes.
exactly.
And listen
Exactly.
to my inner knowing, just like forget this. Let's listen to inside here. What does Gina need? What does she
Mhm.
need for the day? Not like what the world says you need to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the vaccination stuff, but I refused the whooping cough vaccine. I'm like, I don't want it inside me.
No.
My body's telling me, no, you don't need it. So I'm saying, okay, I don't need it. And the doctor's like, well, I respect your wishes, but we always want to recommend this and it's very safe. But my body's like, no, no. So I'm gonna listen to my body, okay?
Your body holds the wisdom, your body holds the power. Honor the body. Yes.
Yes, and everybody's body is different. So that's why I said listen to your own body. You don't have to listen to what other people are saying. Really trust yourself.
Mhm.
And that's what's very hard because we're like, how do I know to trust myself? Well, you just feel it inside. And it's like that knowing if it feels, if it makes you feel icky, stay away.
Yeah. Don't do it.
That's the easiest way I can explain it. Just stay away. But if it makes you feel like, oh, I like this, this is making me feel good inside, I'm getting happy, then just do it.
Yeah. You sound like a sacral authority. You sound like you are definitely like a manifesting generator or a generator in your human design.
Yeah.
That sacral, yes and no, because we all have this ability to tap into our body and our wisdom. And you're always like something I like to do. Can I do this for your listeners? Is
Yes,
the
please.
coding. Okay, so you're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna place it over your abdomen, your belly button, the center of your abdomen, and you're gonna close your eyes and just take a breath here. Exhale, let it go. And you're going to say, body, show me a yes. And breathe. Notice what you feel. You might feel lightness. You might feel expansion, tingles, pulling movement forward, whatever it is for you. Note it, anchor it in, and say, thank you, body. And then say, body, show me what no feels like. And breathe. You might feel heaviness. You might feel contraction, constriction, this leaning back energy. Whatever it is, notice it and say, thank you. Your body holds the wisdom, and it's simpler than we've been led to believe. And so it's all about returning. to the body. Your body is like the greatest technology we have. We're energetic beings. We're so connected to the divine. And there are certain foods that disconnect us, right? Because they have these denser frequencies, vibrations that bring us into lower modes of operating and feeling instead of these higher, lighter frequencies. And so your body is this divine technology that can sense and feel and create through its field of energy.
That is amazing. So I'll share what I experienced right now. So when I asked my body, what does a yes feel like? It was relaxed, it was calm,
Mhm.
it was light. When I asked my body, what does a no feel like? It was sweaty. So I got sweaty. Like I felt warmth, like a icky warmth though, like a detox, like it's something wanted to escape my body. I've
Mhm.
never done that practice before. Thank you so much for that. I know that I will be sharing that, and the listeners are going to appreciate that. And hopefully, they do that practice, so that way they can make decisions for themselves instead of
Yes.
someone else telling them what to do.
Yes. And that's how we begin to trust ourselves. It's not that we don't know how to trust ourselves, it's that we live in a world that's conditioned us to believe that we can't trust ourselves, that we can't trust the body. We've seen the body as broken, we've seen the body as the problem instead of seeing it as the portal and as the solution, right? And so coming back to your body and knowing that you know.
Yes. Now you you've said
Hi.
it wants to say
I know.
hi. Sometimes I swear, like my plants start moving. Well, I do. It's a rattlesnake plant, so they tend to go up in the evening time and like loosen up and during the day. And I always have my plants in front of me here, and I swear, like they always sense like my frequency or whatever they're sensing because they are thriving. I'm telling you, they're thriving constantly. When we were talking, it was moving on its own. I'm like, oh, how
Of
cool is that?
course.
Like everything is connected. So I mean that fly is probably like sensing you and you're like, yeah, I want to join this party too. This sounds
Yeah,
fun.
this is good.
So funny. But I was going to ask you, you said that what you do is meant to be experienced, not explained. Can you just go ahead and take us through a moment or feeling that actually defines your work?
Yeah.
What would that experience look like?
More like what would it feel like? I
Yeah.
think when we're asking the question of like, what is this? And what we're like asking how, we're not focusing on who and how contain the same letters but are spelled differently. So we're asking how, which disconnects us from the body wisdom and gets us into the mind and the logical predictability of the mind and what we've known, and in that realm of the predictable rather than the potential and the possibility of the unknown. And so for me, embodied wellness is meant to be experienced because it's all about embodiment. I care not only that you learn the information, but that you experience true transformation through integrating and embodying that information. That's why when you experience it through a breath experience or a session or something with me, you feel the energetic shift and you then understand because every person's transformation is so unique and different. And yes, there are parallels, but everyone is so unique in their ability to sense and articulate and share that it's like, it's not just about the information, it's about the transformation, and that happens through the body.
Absolutely. That was beautifully said.
Thank you.
Now, Anna, where can our listeners go ahead and connect with you, follow you?
Yes, thank you for asking. They can connect with me. I'd love to connect on Instagram. It's my favorite platform, and it's at I am, like the mantra, I am Anna, Anna, Finck, Finck. And you can come and share your experience with this podcast. We'd love to hear how it was for you and what your takeaways were. That would be an honor.
Yes, and I will have all the links to connect with you on the show notes, in the show notes. But I always ask this question, and I love because I just love asking this question on this podcast. What does it mean? What does shining within mean to you? And how do you actually practice it in your own life?
Shining within for me means being fully connected and aligned with my soul, that radiance comes from within. It's the soul glow. And so when we live a life that's true to us and we pursue that path that feels true to us, and we live our truth, we shine. We're felt. We're like the lighthouse. We don't have to prove anything. We just are.
Yes, yes, and yes. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on my show today. I cannot wait for this podcast episode to air because our listeners are in for a huge treat. So, thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's been such an absolute honor to speak with you today. And thank you to all the listeners for your time and your energy.